Mr. Charles, you're wanting to know as to what business structure would actually suit you best upon opening your barbershop. You're originally going to be opening this business as a sole trader. Um, Sole trader business structure are usually preferred by business starters as it requires very less paperwork. As a sole trader, you will have full control over your business and you will not be subject to any special regulations other than the usual conditions of contracts and consumer protection. Under this business structure, you will have rights to employ staff and hire other barbers as sole traders. But this also means that you will have full legal responsibility for debts incurred by the business. And since there is no division between your personal and business assets, if something goes wrong, creditors will be able to tap into your personal assets to pay the business debts. My recommendation to you would be opening this business as a company, a proprietary company limited by shares. Through this avenue, you can nominate yourself as a sole director as well as being a sole shareholder. The law also allows you to be your own company secretary if you choose to do so. And since the company is a separate legal entity, it has rights just like a natural person. It can enter into contracts, apply for loans, and incur debts. But the company structure will be protecting individuals behind the company because there is such a thing called corporate shield. So, for example, as opposed to sole traders where creditors can get hold of the business owner's personal assets, you as a company director will not be personally liable for the company's debts. Instead, creditors will be going after, say, the company's asset to be sold so that it can pay for the business debts. In saying this, properties, profits, and monies earned by the company belongs to the company. Therefore, a separate company bank account is actually mandatory. The beauty about having a company, though, is that individuals will not be dealing with you personally, but through the company. And since you don't want personal relationships to interfere with your business and keeping everything to be, and what you're wanting to keep everything to be in a professional setting, then a company would be best for you. The company will be governed by either replaceable rules under the Corporations Act or by customized rules or constitution to best suit your company. So in the event that something happens to you, which might hinder you from actually attending your business, resolutions are in place as to how the business will operate in your absence. Also, please note that it is also highly recommended that you get a will. Be advised as well that being a company director doesn't mean that you don't have legal liabilities. You will be governed under the Corporations Act and you have legal duties to adhere to. To name a few, you will be expected to act in the best interest of the company at all times. You will be expected to act in good faith, as well as practice the proper use of your power as a company director. You will have to avoid conflicts between personal interest and the company's interest. You will have to act honestly, and you have to prevent the company from trading while it is unable to pay its debts. As a company director as well, you will be expected to keep all the financial records of the company. This is one of the rules that you need to comply with the Corporations Act. There will also be regulations in place as to what would happen if your company is in financial trouble. So this is usually set out in your company's constitution or rules. So having these set rules will be handy in managing more than just one business. So in your case, you have mentioned before that you are wanting to open another business in the future. In this business structure as a company, things will be already in place to prepare you for when that day comes that you are ready to open up another business. In addition to this, you may also be hired by the company as the main barber of your business. So the company structure actually allows you to have dual roles. So in setting up a company, you will need to register both the business name and the company name through ASIC. But before you do, make sure that the business name and the company name that you want to use is still available. You can do this by going through the ASIC website and search for the name. You have also asked about if registering a business name automatically registers the business trademark. Unfortunately, no, because the registration of a business name is done through ASIC, while the business trademark registration is done through IP Australia or Intellectual Property Australia. If you also want to know the cost for registration of company, information is also available in the ASIC website. You had concerns as to how you will get paid if you decide to be your company's sole director. Usually, big companies, shareholders decide directors' remuneration and wages. In your case, as a sole trader, as a sole director rather, you will write and sign your own resolution to determine your own wage. As for insurances, you are asking about personal insurance. As a sole trader, you will have to get your own personal insurance because you will not be covered by the workers' compensation insurance. But as a company director, you will not be needing the cover, as work cover claims are usually done through the company. You've also asked about insurances for the business. You can visit the Australian Business License and Information Services website. All the license, permits, and insurances that you will need for trading in your business will be available there. You also ask about bank accounts as to when exactly will you open a company bank account. Obviously, you will have to wait and establish your company first before opening a bank account, because like I mentioned before, if say you open a bank account with a company name that you have in mind, but when checking through the ASIC website, the company name is actually not available anymore for you to use, it defeats the purpose of having a company bank account. And lastly, you were asking as to what would happen if, as a sole trader, you close your business. As a sole trader, you can either sell your business or, providing that you have settled all the accounts and debts of the business, it will be solely up to you to keep it or sell the assets. You were also asking about what would happen to the assets of the company if you close the company. I would actually say to start off with, you need to deregister the company through ASIC, and also just because you are the sole director of, say, your company, you will not be able to keep the asset and properties as your own. All the assets and properties of the company will have to be sold, and then the profits will be divided accordingly. This is again providing that the company does not owe any money to any creditors. I do hope I have clarified things for you. All the best in the future.